Okay, everybody, we are here with actor Nick Moran. And yeah, he has a new movie called Nemesis coming out. And let me give you the
Yeah.
quick rundown. It's an underworld kingpin's past catches up with him when he returns to London, igniting an explosive chain of events, which ends in revenge and murder. Nick, how are you?
I'm okay. Yeah, as I said, uh, I miss the days where you used to go meet people for interviews. You know, I've been doing junkets for this and for Creation Stories, my other movie, and it's all on Zoom. You know, it's just the treat at the end of a film is that you get to do press junkets and you sit in a hotel and someone else pays for your beer. You get a trip out, I get a trip out. You know, but we're all doing Zoom. We're making the most of it.
You
So I'm
know,
enjoying what there is.
I got to tell you, I'm not hating the Zoom stuff. So
Wow.
yeah,
Oh,
I know.
I really am. I,
Oh man, I'm
I
sorry.
really am hating the Zoom stuff. This is like
So
a bad sci-fi.
yeah, it's definitely different. Uh,
Yes.
Talk to me about Nemesis. What made you say yes to this project?
Yeah, to be absolutely honest, I've a strong working relationship with the producer and the production company. We've done films before, and we have stuff slated, but we were in the middle of lockdown.
Mm.
I was doing post-production on the movie I directed in lockdown, and this was the first film to be made during COVID. I mean, there was a lockdown easing, and I thought it was so ambitious and so brave of them to make a film through COVID that I obviously I had to say yes. You know, I think the opportunity and to help anyone, the production company making this film, you wouldn't notice when you see the film that it's a COVID friendly script and a COVID friendly production, but because it's a home invasion movie, because there's a small set, small amount of people, there's not a lot of extras, it actually lends itself to solution opportunities when it comes to COVID. And I think that we made this film. No one would watch the movie and say that was filmed during COVID. They'll just enjoy the film. But I thought it was so brave of them to make the film while we were in the grip of the pandemic. So I obviously had to do that. Secondly, my character in this is very outside of the main story. I have my own story, and then it intersects. So I really didn't have a lot to do with, in a good way, your character wouldn't know what other people are doing. So I deliberately stayed out of the way of that. You know, so my concerns were, you know, my own little vendetta. So it was nice to play something that was simple and straightforward. And as I said, I have a great relationship with the producers and everybody in the film I sort of knew or worked with before. And they let me a lot of freedom with the director to sort of rewrite my own dialogue or embellish the speeches and make things work. So
Oh, cool.
it was a lovely exercise for me as an actor to do a character that's completely self-contained, has nothing to do with anyone else until the end, you know, which I won't spoil. But so yeah, there was a lot of reasons to do it. One, because I supported the production and the obstacles they were overcoming, and secondly, because it was a nice role, contained role in an interesting story.
Yeah, let's talk about your character. He's uh let's see. Yeah, Frank Conway. Tell me a little bit about this character and how he works into the story.
Well, this is playing a washed up alcoholic. Can I just say it's not 9 a.m. where I am?
You know what?
Okay.
We are Nick,
It's
quit
not 9.
pretending we're in the same time zone. I
Okay, yeah, it's always beer o'clock. But I play a character that's an washed up, broken alcoholic uh, policeman who has never got over the death of his father, and the person he blames for it is the lead character in this film, and that's what brings him into the story. His little vendetta, his vengeance, has driven him to the brink of a breakdown.
mm,
So there's a little element of there's a little taxi driver element in there which I think people have picked up on. There's that moment in the mirror, or the moment with a gun, or the moment where he's talking when someone says to him, why don't you go and kill him? And you're not sure whether that guy actually said that, that barman actually said that, was he inferring that, or was it imagined? There's this quite interesting subplot of that scene in the bar where you're not sure whether the barman's actually told him that he should just take the law into his own hands. But he's a washed up, broken policeman whose vengeance has got him to the point where he's lost his job and lost all direction. And I think that's quite a famous classical character in movies and in everything from Greek tragedies right up to contemporary films. And that character is they're only ever undone by their own desire for revenge. Yeah, it's exactly the same in any great Western, so it's that character. He's that guy.
Were there any scenes that were, I don't know, particularly memorable to shoot or a lot of fun to really dive into?
I think when we did the scenes with Ricky in the bar, because it's a 3-page monologue almost, and we managed to have fun with that, surprisingly, because Ricky Grover is a very interesting actor. He used to be a very, very good boxer, professional boxer, and sparred with some amazing people. And so you're dealing with somebody who is accustomed to that sort of underworld, those genuine London tough guys. And so that scene was nice. It was an easy day, but it's very interesting. You always have this, the producers always have this blind panic when an actor's got a 5-page speech, because it's either going to take a week or it's going to take 20 minutes, so and I'm a 20-minute actor because I direct a load of movies, and there's nothing worse than an actor turning up that doesn't know what he's supposed to say. That's like an Uber driver turning up with no idea how to drive a car. It's like, all you've got to do is say stuff as an actor. That's all you've got to do. You just got to turn up and say stuff. If you do it well, that's great. You do it badly, we'll cut around it. But just turn up and say stuff. Anyway, so when I turned up and I was really prepared and on top of it, there was a relief from the producers, and then that meant that we got to do a few more takes and do it again and try little variations or improvise some stuff. And we had a whole day to do these 5 pages, which was a monologue, which if there was a gun to our head, I could have done in 20 minutes, but it meant that we actually really got to enjoy it. And then we went for a massive lunch. But that day, which is very unusual in movie making like this, where things are done so quickly and so tight because the budget's so constrained and you're up against the schedule. Because that was on paper a 5-page scene, in reality it's a 4 or 5 minute speech. So we actually everybody had time to enjoy it, and to actually I was quite pleased with some of the work in that. And that section in the film, it's, as you know, it's peppered throughout. We cut backwards and forwards to my character in the bar having this conversation and then deciding that he's going to go and take the law into his own hands. Right. But that was actually just done initially in one hit, and that was a pleasure to do.
You mentioned how everything was shot during COVID, and do you think that enhanced the production? Do you think that it added anything to it?
No, I don't think so. I think it made it incredibly difficult, and ultimately, people did catch COVID.
Oh no.
And it was it's an unforgiving, horrible virus, and it finds its way in whatever you do, even if you're Mission Impossible, it doesn't happen. So fortunately we weren't at the mercy of it, because everybody got sick just after we'd wrapped. So it's like, thank God we were only filming for a few weeks, because if it had been a few weeks longer, we would have had to close down. But it was, that was the other good thing about the schedule. But no, it's you can't defeat that evil virus, and it didn't make things nothing was on point. Nothing was particularly better because of it. Everything was difficult, and we still sort of succumbed to it. It's still won. You know, it's an undefeatable thing. That's why, you know, hats off to COVID. It's it's a really tough guy. It really knows what it's
No,
doing.
I like the reason why I asked that is because some productions have found that they, you know, things were super tight and lean, and they had to get things done, and there were crazy miracles. But I guess
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true, because what happens is you have a smaller crew, and everybody, you try to double up on jobs, because it's better to have less people doing more than more people. You have more people that can do some stuff reasonably well, rather than a whole bunch of experts. So you'll get one person doing 3 or 4 jobs. I mean, I was the cameraman. No one noticed it. No, they didn't. It wasn't really.
we shot in selfie. Well,
I had to
listen,
I shot myself, and then the crew have to double up. But that's something that you have to do on low budget films anyway. I think the shock is, for bigger budget films, they have to work the way that lower budget films work anyway. So the films that have come out of COVID have all been smaller films, because we're used to doing it. We used to, you know, right, it's a 10-page scene, you've got 15 minutes action. Anyone walks in, improvise. We're not supposed to be in this location. Just get on with it.
There's no permits. Go.
What lunch? You know, you didn't eat yet? You know, where's my dressing room? You're wearing it. You know, that sort of stuff we're used to in this country with our lower budget films, and our greatest movies, like Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels and Full Monty and Trainspotting, they're all tiny budget $1 million films. That's the only thing we're good at. Every time we try and do a big film, it's a disaster. So we're really good at really doing small films, small edgy movies. That's the only thing we can realistically do. So everybody in this country has learned how to make micro movies and make them look like they're bigger. And this is one of those. It was just a case of COVID has made big productions work like micro movies, and we've been doing micro movies, since the 60s. So it's not a big deal for us.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I'm being told to wrap up. I could be talking to you for forever, but yeah,
it's great, man. Lovely speaking to you, and good luck with your channel and your reviews. It's a lot of fun. I looked it up online. It's great fun.
Thanks, man. So Nemesis comes out July 30th and on VOD. And Nick, best of luck with this release, and hope to talk to you again soon.
Thank you very much, Norman. Pleasure's all mine.
All right, take care.